And now you want to throw in our problem at the border. However you want to fall on that, let's just look at the numbers. If they're saying there's 3 million people come across the border, and let's say they grant amnesty for those people, whether you're left or right, doesn't matter. We're doing numbers here. Where are those 3 million people going to live? If you watched my last video about the death of real estate agents, it is getting chaotic out there. Housing affordability is insane right now. And I just watched the Fed say they're still going to cut rates 3 times this year as inflation numbers are still hot and not doing what they're saying. So you're going to reduce interest rates into an inflationary environment and think that real estate is not going to keep going up. Look, the inventory is the problem with real estate right now. People are not selling their homes because they got a 2%, 3% mortgage, and I don't blame them. Because if you look at the numbers say, well, I'm just going to stay right where I'm at. And that's what's happening. You just have people that aren't selling inventory, what, 3 to 4 months maybe, depending on what part of the country you're in. I think here in the Gulf Coast, we're like 3 months of inventory, which is absolute insanity. And then we've got so many people coming here from other states. And it's like, wait a minute, you're going to lower interest rates from where we just were in this chaotic environment 3 times and expect real estate not to go through the roof? Okay, right now, there's still more buyers than there are houses on the market. I had 5 buyers in the last month that they wound up just saying, I'm not going to buy because there's just nothing out there. And the moment you reduce rates, they're coming back and they're just going to start buying houses. And not to mention all the investors out there. I'm not talking about mom and pops, which for me, I'm thinking about this too. How do I hedge myself against inflation that's continuously going up? You're going to reduce interest rates, put more liquidity in the market, more funny money, and expect houses not to keep going up and things to not keep going up? Because when you have more money in the system, you get inflation, okay? You're just going to have hedge funds firing off on properties, buying everything they possibly can. They're never coming back. I'm going to tell you this. If interest rates stay up, most of these builders are going to build to rent, and they're going to hold them for a couple years and then throw them into portfolios. And if you think that housing is bad now, wait till 2025. Okay, let's think about this. If there's 3 months of inventory now, and then buyers are coming back into the market, and we have an entire 2-3 years of back young couples that are just graduating out of college, coming in the system that still haven't bought. And now you want to throw in our problem at the border. However you want to fall on that, let's just look at the numbers. If they're saying there's 3 million people come across the border, and let's say they grant amnesty for those people, whether you're left or right, doesn't matter. We're doing numbers here. Where are those 3 million people going to live? And we already have a housing crisis of what? A couple million houses on the market? And we've already got all these people out of the market. Do you not think that rent's going to go up and housing prices are going to go up when there's a supply problem and you have 3 million more people looking for a place to sleep at night? Whoa. Okay? That is something nobody is talking about. It is wild to think about how bad... There's going to be a generation that will not own a house. Okay? It might be 2 generations. It's going to be a renters nation. And to just think, the house I live in right now, I paid $67,000 for. This exact same house in my neighborhood is probably $350,000 since 2017 to now. Let that sink in. Let me tell you this. We just listed a trailer, a single wide trailer here in Pensacola for $75,000. That's $10,000 more almost than I paid for my house a block from the water in 2017. Let that sink in. Now, this is inflation in action. This is when they print 30 or 40% of all the dollars in existence in the United States inside 1 or 2 years, 3 years, however you want to paint it. That is what caused housing to go through the roof. And how did they print money? I want you to go down that rabbit hole. Go read Creature from Jekyll Island. Go read some really good financial books on modern monetary policy and how dollars are created through debt, mortgages, car loans, all these things, bonds. Figure it out, and you'll see when you go down that rabbit hole how we got to the real estate market being so, I don't even want to call it inflated. It's inflated, but our dollars are worth less. Scary. So I want to wrap it up with this. If the buyer's agent goes away and you have nobody to negotiate better prices for their clients, and the seller holds all the cards in the negotiation, because most people are not going to be able to afford representation when buyers have to pay for their own representation. They're going to wind up paying more for properties because they don't even know what the property should be worth to begin with. They don't know where to start the bid at. They don't know how to throw in any type of closing costs, or how the system works, or what closing costs even probably are. Go watch that video that I just made on that. I had to make it. I was really fired up making it. And just think, most people that are not, it's pay to play, most people that don't have the money to afford representation, whether it's a real estate attorney or real estate agent, they are going to get the bad end of the stick. And it's going to make housing even harder to get. Got to know the process. And especially for the first-time home buyer. And I am willing to bet that if things do not change, the American dream of owning a home and having it paid off is going to be out the window. It is not going to be there for the next generation. Unless we can get inflation down and they can figure out, because I keep saying what they're going to do into the next election cycle is they're going to change the ability for the payment to be diluted. The mortgage payment is going to change. The price of the property is going to stay the same. Whether it's a 40-year mortgage or it's some way to factor in a high interest rate or whatever, to where the monthly payment is smaller because people buy payments and not prices. And if they do not figure that out, a whole generation will not own a home, especially because supply is so low. And you better buy your kids a house today, because 20 years from now, who knows? This is nuts. And I think anybody that can say they know what's going to happen in the real estate market is lying to you, because right now it's so uncertain, same way with the stock market. It's nuts. Comment down below what you think, what you have to say on this. I don't know, even throw in a political rhetoric down at the bottom. I don't care. I just want people to start talking, because they need to understand how this stuff works. Inflation is awful. They're stealing from your savings accounts. With every dollar they send to the Ukraine or every dollar they send overseas, they are exporting that inflation. They're creating dollars, and your savings account is becoming worth less and less and less. And you don't even know it. It's the silent thief. And I'll see you guys later.